All right, let me call him.
Yeah, but yeah, it worked out. Yo, but that was honestly the first time I ran 6 miles since I was.
Wait a minute, are you already recording?
Yeah, but I know how to edit the thing it'll sound like me, you, and Ray was already on the phone, and I haven't even said lace 'em up boxing yet, so so I can
Okay.
automatically exit off that.
I'm gonna call him.
And we talking about Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia. Yo, yo, Julius. Yeah.
Yeah, we all on the phone.
All right. Yo, yo, Ray.
What's up, man?
All right. So I'm about to start it in three, two, one. What's up, y'all? It's Lace 'em Up Boxing on the phone. We got my boy Ray Walker and the OG admin Julius Henderson, and we was touching up on the topic Vasyl Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia. We know that's a possibility fight that can happen in the summer of 2018. So I'm gonna start with the guest first. Ray Walker, you give me your update and your input on that fight.
I just really feel, Jordan, in my unbiased opinion, I believe styles make fights. I believe everything that Mikey can do, Lomachenko is going to negate. People talk about his size, his power. I feel like none of that is going to be a factor because at the end of the day, what good is power when you can't hit your target?
So
I feel
you
like Mikey Garcia is a good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no. You can go, you can go.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, Mikey Garcia is a good fighter, but I believe to me, he looks average. There's nothing there's nothing like he don't have any of those special effects that I see for some of these
Got it.
other fighters. And I believe when him and Lomachenko get in the ring, I believe he's gonna look regular, and people are still gonna have excuses why Lomachenko schooled him the way he did.
Mm. Julius, you want to add in a little input to that?
I mean, I kind of agree. Mikey Garcia is nothing like out of this world, but he got good power, good size. He got a good jab that we've seen in his last fight. And we can negate, both of their fights because they both have fought. I think a
Rocky
couple of the same
Martinez.
fighters. They both fought Rocky and Solito, if I'm correct.
You know what? I
What?
was about to say, but you know what? And I've seen this happen many times before. Why does and I believe you even said it too earlier today. Why does Vasyl Lomachenko gets more credit for beating Rocky Martinez, a guy that's already war beaten, than Mikey Garcia, who's beat a clear Rocky Martinez? Or why does Lomachenko give so much praise and hype when he's only what 8-1, 9-1, almost 10 pro fights, where we see other fighters who's 20 plus fights, who's multiple world champions. Why is he getting so much hype, but the other fighters not?
I mean,
Yeah, right.
go ahead, June. No, go ahead, June.
All right.
I can answer. I can answer that for you easily. Boxing is about what have you done for me lately. Mikey Garcia went on a 2 or 3 year hiatus, and nobody's heard from him. Now that he's back, now he's trying to start off where he left off at. But at the end of the day, now you have new guys in the sports world that's making noise, and people are seeing the dynamics of this man and how he's doing these same opponents. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they remember, not 2, 3 years ago, what Mikey Garcia did.
So do you agree that Vasyl Lomachenko got more credit for beating the war beaten Rocky Martinez than Mikey Garcia?
Well, I don't.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I didn't know who he's talking to.
I don't know. I don't think that he got more credit. I think the credit is like Ray because it's more recent. When it comes to boxing fans, it is what have you done lately, and they're gonna go off of what they've seen recent. Not what they may or may not remember from 3 years ago. And it's the way that Lomachenko beat Rocky. That's the biggest difference. He was a 3-round TKO or 2, 3, 4 rounds. I don't remember, but it was a couple rounds, and he just embarrassed him. He made him look like average fighter. And Lomachenko, I think the biggest difference with him and all these other pros, and even so we go back to people getting mad about the Floyd Mayweather comparisons, it's because Lomachenko only has 9 fights. You can boo-hoo about his one loss that's controversial. But the thing is, he's already fought 5 world champions in those 9 fights, and that's why the fans are getting so behind him, because Lomachenko's not cherry picking. You know what I mean? After he fought Salido and lost, he could have had him a good 10 more cherry picks and then stepped up again. But he fought he fought Salido, then he went and fought Gary Russell Jr. next. And then
exactly.
That's the biggest difference why he's getting the praise.
I agree. And speaking on the Lomachenko Floyd fight, I agree with many people saying, you know, through almost 10 fights, Lomachenko has fought better opponents than Floyd at what, 27 years old, I believe he's. But many people don't get is that at the age Lomachenko is now, Floyd Mayweather was already pound for pound number one. So I feel like I can see what many people saying. A 130 matchup, you know, a great fantasy fight is a great fantasy fight. But I'm just not going to 100% disrespect Floyd Mayweather, because if you can compare both of their ages right now, Floyd Mayweather was entering the Oscar De La Hoya fight, making his career highest payday 25 million, where Lomachenko, his highest payday was 800,000, and he wasn't pound for pound number one. So I agree that Lomachenko has been moved better. But when we talk about age and we compare side to side, Floyd Mayweather had a better career. Now, will I say that Lomachenko could have a better career? Of course. You know, who has actually did that in their career? The only person I would consider who had a fast start like that was Wilfredo Benitez. But besides him, I really don't know who actually had a really good start. Probably Noya Inu. You know, he has a lot of hype to his name. Noya Inu was possibly Roman Gonzalez's next opponent after a Carlos Cuadras rematch. But besides that, I really don't know nobody in history who has actually had a good pro start like Lomachenko.
Yeah, you'll probably never see that again. Because
Never.
like I said, people like Lomachenko and Riggins, bro, they only come once in a lifetime, bro. Like those people are not doing. Yeah, these people are not doing what these guys are doing, man.
Exactly. And speaking of Regan, now I wasn't going to bring his name up, but now I am going to bring his name up. You know, because everybody anticipated a Lomachenko versus a Regan match way before they even thought about a Lomachenko versus a Mikey Garcia. Ray, starting with you first. Do you think that fight could actually happen at a catchweight, or do you think it's too little, too late for Guillermo Rigondeaux to start negotiation with Vasyl Lomachenko?
Well, to be honest with you, it's never too late. But at the end of the day, as a grown man to another grown man, we know if somebody wants to fight or somebody doesn't want to fight. And I done seen countless interviews from Rigondeaux. He doesn't want to fight that man. Like I told somebody else, bro, he feel like he got a little jealous because he's like, dang, I'm talented. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing what he's been doing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not getting the praise that I deserve. So I believe he kind of just threw Lomachenko name out there, thinking that Lomachenko might duck him like the rest of the boxing world has. And Lomachenko said, okay. So, you know what I'm saying? I signed that contract, and then when it was time to dance, he bagged out.
So and
now, do I think Rigondeaux is scared of him? No, I don't think Rigondeaux is scared of him, but I do think Rigondeaux knows that Lomachenko is too big for him.
Exactly, and even at a catchweight, I would still say, you know, you can say that both of their skills could be on the even playing field. It could be 50-50, but at the end of the day, a great big man beats a great little man. I know y'all heard of that
Exactly.
many times before.
Exactly.
And one thing about speaking on Guillermo Rigondeaux, not to back away from the Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia discussions, is even though he's really small for 122. Do you think he should actually step up and test his feet in the waters at 126 just to try to get some name recognition? Now, we know that Leo Santa Cruz and many other opponents has basically said, you know what, I don't want to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux. It's not no money. Carl Frampton even admitted, like, hey, I basically ducked him because it wasn't no money, even though Carl Frampton was never a big money type of fighter. But do you think that at 126 you got Oscar Valdez, Leo Santa Cruz, you got Abner Mares, you got Carl Frampton? Do you think that he should actually put his feet in the water and actually fight one of those people where they wouldn't have no choice, you know, because they'll be too small for 130, and it'll be, hey, it's God versus God now. You can't run, you can't hide.
I feel like, bro, at 126, I feel like he could still beat those guys. it might come at a price. You might see him getting knocked down a little more because those guys are bigger. But, I mean, come on, man. I'm pretty sure if you move up, some of those guys are willing to take you on. You know, for reasons. They like, oh, okay, I'm bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? I might have a chance. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily meaning that'll work, but, you know, he's just going to have to take a little more risk, bro. But staying at 122 where everybody has ran from you, literally, come on, what is that doing for your legacy?
Nothing. I agree.
Yeah, I feel the same way. He got to just jump up to 126. I mean, it's only 4-pound differential. I know that's, you know, that's big in boxing, but, you know, it's 4 pounds. If your skills truly are as high class as everybody says and as everybody thinks, then you should be able to go to 126 and outbox these guys. Because when it comes to skill, ring it out style, he doesn't use his body, he doesn't use his size. He fights with his brain and his skills. So his skills are so good, he should be able to go to 126 and fight these guys. They're not going to duck him at 126 because that would just look terrible. And if they do duck him, then all we can do is say, fuck it, he tried. You see what I'm saying? But right now, staying at 122, staying inactive, and just crying on Twitter is not looking that good. And I don't even understand how we can keep comparing Lomachenko to Ringendahl. I understand they're both 2 Olympic gold medals. I understand they're both great, skillful fighters. You know what I'm saying? But Lomachenko is not sitting at a weight class crying about guys won't fight him. He said, you guys don't want to fight me at 126, you went to 130. Now he's saying, after this last fight with Sosa, if these guys won't fight me at 130, I would go to 135. And Lomachenko will be smaller at 135. So that's why we have to respect Lomachenko and say right now he is more proven than Ringendahl. And I think Lomachenko was down to a catchweight with Rigo at 124, and Rigo didn't want to do the fight. So it is what it is.
And getting back to the Lomachenko boxing talk, do you see a Lomachenko versus Salido 2 fight happening before he actually moves up to 135? Because I don't think he's going to stick around at 130 much longer. Like I said, he had a Instagram post where he called out all the champions, and he was like, hey, I moved up to 130 for some competition. Nobody don't want to fight me. We have seen that nobody actually don't want to fight him. Bob Arum has begged fighters. Jason Sosa, he gets a lot of respect for me, win or lose. I said that before and after the fight, just for taking a fight. Do you see Lomachenko versus Salido 2 fight happening before he steps up to 135? And if that fight does happen, do you think that Bob Arum will put him in a fish tank with Mikey Garcia first before actually fighting somebody at 135, somebody that's not on the skills of Mikey Garcia? Julius Henderson, I'm gonna let you answer that first.
I think the Salido fight should happen. It needs to happen. I don't think Salido wants that fight. Salido's asking for way too much money than he's worth. I'm no disrespect. I don't want to say what a fighter is worth, but like what's reasonable for them to be able to pay the man, because it's not that much money that's going to be generated into that fight. I think I read they offered him $500,000, which I think for someone like Salido coming off of 2 draws and a loss, I think that would be hell of a and if that fight does happen again at 130, I think Lomachenko stops him. I don't understand this whole whitewash that, like they say, Salido whitewashed him. I honestly didn't watch the fight until recently. I watched it, I think, 2 days ago now, and I thought Lomachenko won by 1 round or a draw. So I do think that Salido will get stopped in a rematch. I think Lomachenko has gotten better. People are acting like Lomachenko is at his prime and he's done improving. The man's only 27, if I'm correct, and he's only getting better. So I think he stops Salido if they happen. And if he goes up to 135, I don't see why they can't fight Mikey Garcia right away. He went right to 130 and fought. Wait a minute. Was
135?
126.
Oh, 126. Okay. Either way, so Lomachenko don't care who he fights. He jump up to any weight class and will fight the top guy. He don't care about getting tune-ups and none of that stuff. And I'm just going off of what he's showing us. He's just showing us. He just wants to fight the champions and he just wants to fight the best. Never seen anybody do that. Garcia is the one talking about let Lomachenko get some tune-ups. And Lomachenko's not saying that. He said we can make the fight now. But then Garcia's saying tell your promoter to call us. So I guess it's going to fall down into Bob Arum's plans. Lomachenko is down to fight. Garcia is down to fight. We're just going to see what Bob Arum does, because we know he can ruin a good fight. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely. Ray Walker, you want to put some input in that?
Yeah, bro. I feel the same way Julius does, bro. Toledo doesn't want that fight because he see what everybody else is seeing. He's seen that he almost got stopped at 126 in the 12th round. So just imagine what's going to happen at 130. And Toledo, that fight is not going to happen, bro, unless Toledo is backed into a corner and he just needs that money, bro. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Agreed.
But as far as Mikey Garcia goes, bro, Lomachenko, as far as I'm concerned, he could go right up there and fight Mikey Garcia first. Let me tell you something, bro. I promise I don't have anything against Mikey. Like I tell you over and over, Mikey can fight, but styles make fights. And to me, from what I done seen, and all my boxing knowledge, I just feel like Mikey is a tailor-made fighter for Lomachenko. Just like I told people, Nicholas Walters was tailor-made for him.
Exactly.
He was swerving down that Nicholas Walters gonna knock his head off. Oh, what about the power? And Nicholas is so big. And what about the reach? I told him, man, Lomachenko is something we've never seen before, man. None of that matters. Anything you do good, he's gonna exit out.
Yeah, and Lomachenko, he's not a very small 130 neither. I think he entered this fight at 139.5, so he definitely have to actually, I wouldn't say drain himself, but he definitely have to cut amount of weight. I think he still walk around 146, but I feel like a one big advantage that Mikey Garcia have in that fight, maybe power and maybe size, and that's because Mikey Garcia is a big 135 dude. I see him 2 years going up to 140, but I feel like he would want the Vasyl Lomachenko fight before going to 140, just because of the names. But I feel like if there's one thing that could play a factor, and that's how good he uses it. Now, like you were saying in the Nicholas Walters fight, people were saying size and stuff like that, but we seen that fight. Nicholas Walters wasn't the aggressor. It all depends on how you use your size. Now, if Mikey Garcia can pressure Lomachenko, then I would still probably lean towards Lomachenko. But I feel like that's a clear cut advantage. I would give Mikey Garcia, consider how good he'll use it. Now, in that fight, I think it will be very interesting, but I would say it's 50-50, but I will lean towards Vasyl Lomachenko. Just like you said, Lomachenko can do it all. You know, speed, power, angles, jab, footwork. He can do it all.
Yeah, and like I told people as well, bro, about the Mikey Garcia thing. See what you just said earlier, like Mikey Garcia pressures him. That's not what type of fighter he is. So now you asking him to step out his element, and when you step out your element, things go bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, to have a chance against a Lomachenko, bro, it's either you have to do exactly what Toledo did and risk getting disqualified or getting but let me tell you this: no boxer that stands there and tries to be a technician will beat a Lomachenko, bro. It's just that same thing. Nobody that stands there is going to beat a Wiggins unless it's Lomachenko. But if anybody else that try to box, you cannot beat these guys. They mind think too fast.
So
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So you basically think that 126 through 135, nobody beats them in the line of fire or beats them at all. Is that what you're saying?
Let me tell you, from 135 on down, bro, nobody can beat Lomachenko, bro. And I stand by that.
Julius, do you agree with that as well? That 126 to 135 or 135 down, nobody beats Vasyl Lomachenko?
126. Let me think about 126. No one at 126. No one at 130. 135. 135 got some bigger guys. I mean, I think he beats them all too, but I have to see Lomachenko fight a bigger guy. Like, Bunny, we got Robert Easton Jr. He's a big ass 135er. He's just ridiculous, tall and long and strong at 135. So that's a fight. Well, I'm not saying that Robert's a better boxer or anything, but I do think he's just so much bigger than Lomachenko. I would like to see how Lomachenko does with someone that big and tall. Can I see Lomachenko just using his footwork and outboxing him? Yeah, but you know that's an interesting fight. But yeah, I can agree with Ray. I don't really see anybody Like, I wouldn't bet money on that fight. I'm just saying that's a fight that would intrigue me. Like, how does Loma do with someone this big? You know what I mean? Other than that, Mikey Garcia, you know, I think that's a 60-40 fight. Maybe even more advantage goes to Lomachenko because skills pay the bills. I don't know. Mikey Garcia just has a puncher's chance in that fight, basically, is what I'm saying. And other than that, Flanagan, Lomachenko embarrasses him. Felix Verdejo, he gets embarrassed also.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I think 140. I think 140 is going to be where Lomachenko will be more acceptable to lose in a fight to someone way bigger than him. That's what I think.
All right. That's wrapping up our podcast. We got Ray Walker and Julius Henderson. Again, like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube page. Lace them up. MMA/boxing. It's been good talking to y'all, and we will probably have another podcast soon. So be sure to look out for that. All right, y'all. Peace and good day. Good Friday.
Appreciate you for having me, man. All right.
All right.
All right.